Thank you for attending this presentation of the Snap Creator Framework. Today we'll be discussing global configuration files in Snap Creator 4.1. Snap Creator global configuration files are a special type of configuration file. Normal configuration files can inherit information from the global configuration file. Think of a large environment where you have separate teams for storage and applications. Or think of a service provider environment. In these cases, the service provider or the storage team can create a global configuration file that contains the information about the storage environment. The tenant or the application team can consume the information when creating a configuration file. They don't have to know anything about the storage environment. There are two types of global configuration files available. A super global acts at the Snap Creator server level. All profiles in the Snap Creator environment can use this global configuration. A profile global acts at the profile level. In the case of a multi-tenant environment, each tenant can have a profile level global that points to their controller or storage virtual machine. A configuration file will only inherit the information from the global configuration if the information is not listed in the configuration file. Anything listed in the configuration file will take precedence over a global configuration. Likewise, anything listed in a profile level global will take precedence over settings listed in a super global. Let's take a look at how to use global configurations in Snap Creator. I'm currently logged on to the Snap Creator GUI. A user with the global permission will be needed in order to perform the actions shown in this video. The default administrator role has this capability. Click on Management and then Global Configurations. No global configurations currently exist in this environment, so I'll click Create Global to begin. This launches the Global Configuration Wizard. Click Next. Notice that you cannot change the config name. Select the type of global configuration to create, Super Global or Profile Global. I'm going to select a Profile Global and then select my Domino profile from the drop-down box. I'll leave password encryption enabled, then click Next. If you're going to use the VMware plugin for vCloud Director or vSphere, you can store some information within the global by clicking Virtualization Plugin and then clicking Next. For vCloud Director, you can store the vCloud Director URL as well as the username and password. For vSphere, you can store the vCenter username and password. For the purposes of this video, I'm not storing this information, so I'm going to go back to the plugin type and select None and click Next. For communication with the storage system, select the transport method, either HTTP or HTTPS. This will automatically fill in the default port for the chosen transport method. Change the port if needed and select Next. Enter the controller or vServer hostname or IP address, as well as the username and password, and click Next. If needed, click Add to add additional controllers or vServers, or select the entries and click Edit to edit the entry, or Delete to delete it. Once you've added all of the controller or vServers that you need, click Next. If using an on-command proxy, enter the information. If you're not using an on-command proxy, click Next. Review the summary and click Finish. The new Profile Global appears on the left pane. The Domino name in front of the global name indicates that this global configuration file is for the Domino profile. For comparison, I'm going to quickly create a super global. Notice that the super level global appears as global. I'm going to return to the Configurations tab and create a new configuration file that uses the global config information we just created. Right-click on a profile to create a new configuration file. Name your config. Going to select a plugin of none. I'm not even going to use an agent. And once I get to the Storage Connection Settings tab, notice there is a Fetch from Global Configuration option. I'll check it and click Next. Again, on the controller vServer login credentials, there's a Fetch from Global option. I'll check it. If I go ahead and click Next, I'm prompted to add a volume. This is because the plugin that I'm using, none in this example, does not have a discovery mechanism. As such, we have to tell Snap Creator what volumes to back up. Click OK, then highlight the entry that was imported from the global configuration and click Edit. Note that you can't edit any of the information here since it's contained in the global configuration file. Click Next. Select the volumes that you wish to back up as part of the snapshot copy by dragging them from the left pane to the right pane. Click Save once you've made your selections, and click Next to continue. Complete the configuration wizard. Select the newly created configuration file. Looking at the General tab, you'll notice that the Use Global Config option is checked. Looking at the Connection tab, notice that there is no information listed within the configuration file. And looking at the Volumes tab, the information about the volume we selected is listed, but nothing else. To take a snapshot, select Actions, Backup, select My Policy, and click OK. The configuration inherits credentials from the global configuration file and completes successfully. That completes this presentation of Snap Creator 4.1 Global Configuration Files. For additional information about Snap Creator, visit the Snap Creator Developers community at www.snapcreator.com or visit the Snap Creator forum on NetApp communities at www.netapp.com/snapcreator.